Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, Roman Reigns is set for an episode of WWE Raw in the near future, and I think I know why.
Tony Khan shoots on Monday Night Raw.
A ridiculous, absurd dream match has been announced for this week's Rampage buy-in.
And a new North American champion was crowned on last night's episode of NXT. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
Alright, just a fair warning for this video. We should probably shut down the entire comment section and replace it with a gif of a dumpster fire. Because this is a lot of competition stuff we're going to talk about here. A lot of people don't like that. Their loss, I say. Their loss. We're going to start off by talking about... Play nice, don't be weird. We're going to start by talking about Roman Reigns, who has been announced for the November 29th episode of WWE Raw. Roman Reigns, of course, is a SmackDown wrestler, so that's why this is notable. It's at the UBS Arena in Long Island, New York. So Roman Reigns is going to be on that show. Now, interesting thing regarding that show, we reported this a few weeks ago, we talked about it. It goes down within close proximity in that same arena of an episode of AEW Dynamite. Ticket sales for these events. Thus far, WWE, for the 29th of November, has sold, and this is data from WrestleTix, the Twitter account, which has done great reporting so far on ticket sales in pro wrestling, 2,837 tickets for the show in Long Island, New York, right? The AEW Dynamite episode, which goes down on the 8th of December, so it's about a week and a half later, has sold 7,536. AEW at the moment has sold more tickets than WWE have made available for their show. Now, the shows were announced about a week apart, maybe a week and a half or thereabouts. But first of all, Adam, do you think these two things might be linked? And second of all, do you think Roman Reigns will help WWE's really quite bad ticket sales here?
Yes, I think his appearance will help it. I think if Raw was going on here in Newcastle, I'd probably go because we're starved of wrestling. Yeah. But if Roman Reigns was going, I 100% would want to be there just to experience that whole thing and, you know, especially just see that crowd reaction when he says, "Acknowledge me" in person.
There you go.
And he's the best thing going about WWE right now. But I don't know whether it's going to be enough, if I'm perfectly honest, because... yeah, it's to quote Brian Alvarez, a massacre.
Yeah.
And also, it's going to be so fascinating to see what the crowd are like. Like, if WWE book that Raw, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it in a second, like this week's Raw, I mean, we were there for the Raw after WrestleMania and heard those AEW chants. They are going to be deafening if WWE does a shed load of non-finishers again.
Yeah, it's a crazy situation going on in the northeast of America in particular. Like, AEW has done extremely well in New York City. They had the show in Newark, obviously, and everywhere else you want to name. This shouldn't be happening two and whatever years into a promotion's lifespan, going up against a company that has like several decades head start. This really shouldn't be happening. It's quite a remarkable achievement on AEW's end. And if you didn't put two and two together earlier on, I 100% am suggesting that Roman Reigns being announced for this show is a response to the terrible ticket sales here. They sold less than half the amount of this startup company. You'd hope that in the long term the competition would strive both companies to do better. So here's hoping that's the case with this Raw show.
Yeah, exactly. I think, arguably it has. Because Raw's crap and Roman Reigns is good, so put Roman Reigns on Raw.
It makes it less crap.
Yeah.
There you go. Simple equation.
Technically, I suppose it's better. And speaking of Monday Night Raw being a bit crap, Tony Khan, you know him, the AEW guy. He has been on the Barstool Sports Show with Robbie Fox, and he was chatting with him all about not only AEW, but WWE competition, and of course the fact they're going head-to-head between Rampage and SmackDown. Dream match, more on that in just a few minutes' time with Andy. But SmackDown, as well, is going an extra half hour this week, hence adding to the competition between the two shows. And here's how Tony Khan responded. Oh, the comments are going to be fun today. They're going to do a half hour head-to-head with us. That's fine. Okay, we'll see what happens. I'm not saying for sure we'll win, and maybe the odds are against us in some ways, but we're going to do the better show. I know. And if you don't believe me, watch the Go Home show. They did last night because it sucked. It did suck.
Yeah.
This isn't even any sort of tribalism from me. Putting all my AEW bias and,
well, we are on the payroll.
Exactly, the revenue that I get from them to one side. You scrap Raw. Like, two huge matches just didn't really have a finish.
They had the exact same stuff, didn't they? Can they get along?
Yeah. No one can
they
coexist.
couldn't.
Another tag team split up. What on earth that thing was with Riddle and Omos, and it was a bad show. It was an out-and-out bad show, and having said all that, it's going to be very intriguing because Tony Khan, what did he say there? I'm not saying for sure we'll win. Well, he did say they'll win on Twitter a few days ago.
He did, and then he kind of wound it back
and then he saw what Rampage did and went, we probably won't win, actually. But nevertheless, it's going to be fascinating to see what happens on Friday night.
I find this stuff really great fun. Like, they're making moves. It's exciting. We're getting cool stuff, as a result of things playing off each other. It's a good interview that Robbie did here for My Mum's Basement, the name of the show.
Sorry, yes.
Tremendous name. Just wanted to highlight that. Self-aware, I like it. Wrestling fans, we all live in basements, including this one that we're currently recording in. But yeah, look, I think Rampage is going to get absolutely smoked by SmackDown this week, numbers-wise. And I think Tony Khan is smart enough to know this. He's a promoter. His job is to promote. People get lost in this. He's trying to hype people up, to mobilize people to watch the show, to be interested, to be engaged. Whether that means going online and telling people to touch grass or whatever, or posting acknowledge me gifs and stuff. It's the response he's trying to get.
The memes and gifs are going to be flying all over the place on Friday night. But I just wish there was some sort of dream match as a lead-in to Rampage.
Absolutely. Well, part of this thing happening on Friday, this crazy head-to-head thing going on, is that AEW have announced their first ever buy-in for a weekly TV show, 1 hour on YouTube, in the words of Tony D'Angelo, I guess. What are we getting on this show? Bryan Danielson versus Minoru Suzuki. What the hell? So this is something of a holy grail match for a lot of wrestling fans. It actually happened before, back in 2004, but it never made tape. That match is lost to the ether. So we're getting it on Friday. The Booker Man delivered. That's going to be a lot of fun. On top of this, there's also Lee Moriarty versus Bobby Fish. So one of the young up-and-coming wrestlers in AEW, Lee Moriarty. Lee, Rick, and Morty. I like Lee a lot. This is a nonsense. But yeah, that'll be a fun match against a veteran, Bobby Fish. Man, this is just... I don't understand why people look at this stuff and go, hey, this sucks. It rules. We're getting fun things on a Friday night on YouTube for free.
Exactly. Regardless of your allegiances, you can, if you're dedicated, no, I'm not going to even change the channel for 1 second, or even, give them the just watch the match on YouTube on Saturday afternoon or something. Yeah. Because it's going to be great. It's Suzuki versus Danielson.
Exactly. Why are people so weird, man?
I don't understand.
A lot of folk spent years and years and years going, competition needs to come back, WWE's got a monopoly, blah blah blah, it'd be so good if competition came back. Can't we have competition back? Let's get competition back. And now competition is back. We've got a bunch of people complaining about it on Twitter. Weird. Don't be weird. Just watch your wrestling, as Tony Khan said in the Robbie Fox interview.
Indeed. Right, let's conclude by talking about the best wrestling show of the week, though, and that is NXT 2.0! There was a title change on last night's show, and probably not the one you expected. Isaiah Swerve Scott was defending the North American Championship, and we all assumed he was going to drop it to Santos Escobar because he's going up to the SmackDown roster with the rest of Hit Row Swerve, that is. Well, in actual fact, he didn't. He didn't drop it to Santos Escobar. He retained, despite interference from the rest of Legado del Fantasma. But he was aided by Carmelo Hayes, who ran interference, alongside Trick Williams, of course, and made sure that everything was all's fair in love and war and what have you. However, post-match, he's raising Swerve's hand, and then he clocks him, lays him out, and cashes in that contract he won for winning the NXT Breakout Tournament. And in short order, with a bit of interest, I like it when they do it, and they hit a move, and they go, I've got this one, 1, 2, kick out, what the bloody hell's going on here? But very swiftly after that, he nails Swerve, pins him 1, 2, 3, and the brilliant Carmelo Hayes is your new North American champion. I love this at the end of last night's show.
I thought it was a really good way to give Swerve a measure of revenge over Legado del Fantasma, who beat up all his mates earlier in the show.
Another car park kidnapping, yes!
There we go, the most dangerous place in the pro wrestling universe, the NXT car park. But also pass the title on to someone else. Carmelo Hayes rules. I've liked him since the moment he came in as more of a pure babyface. Now he's kind of playing a heel persona with Trick Williams by his side. I really enjoyed this. The match was really good with Escobar. Bar and Swerve. Now Swerve and Hit Row got to the main roster. I think if WWE was a meritocracy, Swerve would be a main eventer within a few months for me. I don't think there's anything that guy can't do. He absolutely rules. Hit Row's a cool stable. Carmelo Hayes is doing great things in NXT 2.0.
Oh!
There we go. The whole thing was good.
Yeah, I hope Swerve gets the sort of Damian Priest thing of, despite how badly they're inevitably going to book him, he just shines through because he's so talented, and having Hit Row by his side is going to inevitably benefit him as well. Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions. At WhatCulture WWE, of course, you want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from Seth Fracker, and Andy, it's a big day in the Fracker household. He says, good morning, legends. Today is my wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary, Mr. and Mrs. Fracker. If possible, could you give my wife Brittany a shout out? Brittany, happy anniversary as well. Now, with that out of the way, who was or is your favourite wrestling couple? For me, it would either be Edge and Lita or Triple H and Steph.
It's probably Britt Baker and Adam Cole. That was my shoe, by the way. I didn't just rip a fart. I'll do it again.
There you go. Whenever I do that in the office, I can't make it happen again, and everyone goes, "Oh right, okay."
Yeah, I think we all think you've ripped a fart. That's how it works. I think Adam Cole and Britt Baker, honestly, they just seem like really nice, wholesome people. Apart from being assholes on TV, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in real life, they seem like really happy, positive folk, bringing a lot of good to the world. And also, the late great Anthony Bourdain introduced them to my wider world when he had them on Parts Unknown in 2017. So there you go. Another
question:
cool
have Adam Cole and Britt Baker ever done a live sex celebration? That's why it's Edge and Lita, unfortunately.
There you go.
Right, second question today comes from Biggest Joe. He says, hi chaps, I know that it's said for a long time that Raw is extremely poor, but how much further does it need to go to get to the dark days of WCW?
I think some weeks we're already there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's kind of become a meme, like, oh, it's 2000 WCW or whatever. But the absolute worst episodes of Raw, they're not far off. The booking isn't good. Like, you know, you look even at this week and they have 4 of the most talented wrestlers in the world in Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, and Bianca Belair in the ring at once. And they did that thing that we spoke about yesterday. And then they did it again in the main event with Big E and Drew McIntyre. It's creatively bankrupt at times. We are, I don't know, like one shade away from it being Judy Bagwell on a forklift some weeks. And look, it's not awful every single week. We've spoken highly of
last
recent
3
episodes.
weeks I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we've spoken of those here on this very show, but I really don't think we're that far off at all.
No, I mean, the wider WWE booking, when Shane McMahon wins that Best Wrestling in the World wrestler in the World trophy, that is Vince Russo winning the world title effectively. But concentrating specifically on Raw, I didn't watch Nitro when I was growing up. I was a WWE stan and didn't really know a lot about, you know, competition, all that bollocks then anyway, because I was about 8 years old. But growing up, I'd read about what happened on Nitro and was like, what were they thinking? How was that allowed to happen?
Who's this Ralphus guy?
And now I witness what's going on Monday Night Raw, and I'm living through something very similar. But yeah, it's very close, if not already there. Final question today comes from Mimi on Twitter, who says, hi guys, in a zombie apocalypse, besides Tony D'Angelo, which wrestlers would you want in your corner?
Very simple answer to this question. Very easy. The Miz, John Morrison, and Damian Priest, because they fought zombies before.
Yes, that is a very good shout. I think I want someone to handle themselves, so I'd probably have Dexter Gaylord Loomis in my corner.
Serial killer.
Yeah, he could do some stuff.
With a big hog.
Yep, indeed. I'd probably have a Wardlow, because he could just toy people about. And a Marco Stunt, so I could just sort of... I love him, by the way, I always say this. But if they're getting a bit close, I'd probably like kick... You know when you kick someone's legs into their other leg?
Yeah.
Trip them up and go, well, that'll keep them busy for a little while. I want to be like second level, because otherwise Dexter and Wardlow are looking at me going, well, you're the first
see you later,
one to go.
Twiggy.
I'll be like, hey, look, guys, Marco Stunt's here. Right, let's move on to today's and finally. And because you mentioned that... I love Marco Stunt, by the way. Because you mentioned about how the comment sections are going to be tasty, I thought I'd chuck something in there to try and salvage it. I'd throw him a bone, okay?
Oh, no.
We all saw this tweet yesterday. Someone tweeted to Rob Van Dam. It's disappointing as a child finding out that these two were not really related, with Rob Van Dam and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Rob Van Dam saying, imagine how we felt, which was spectacular. So I thought, let's just have the comment section today be wrestling lookalikes or who could be related to wrestlers. And then we don't have to have the chat about which is better, WWE and AEW, because you can enjoy both.
You can,
work,
but explaining that to people on the internet with like wrestler avatars and stuff is very difficult. So good luck to you.
Do you think that's going to work? Do you think it's going to be?
No.
Okay.
It's not going to work. I look like Oni Lorcan a little bit. Who have you got?
Sheamus.
Of course.
Sheamus.
Of course. I saw you wearing a
Sheamus
mask.
or a little bit of S.A. Rios from back in the day.
S.A. Rios?
I think it's fair to say.
I've seen your moonsault. It's
pretty close.
Yeah.
By the way, don't forget as well, we are still doing that fantastic partnership with Top Rope Brewing. If you're a viewer here in the UK and when you get yourself a 12-pack of beers for Survivor Series, or as we're calling it, Survivor Beeries, there's a surprise in the pack. It's Top Rope versus WhatCulture. 45 quid for 12 brilliant craft beers, all to celebrate Survivor Series and the 5th birthday of Top Rope Brewing. All you need to do, head to the to the description, in there will be a link to our crate of beer, and at the bit at the end where you put a code in, enter "here's why" and you get free shipping. Unfortunately, as I said, only for our viewers in the UK. We will be doing something with the guys in the US very soon though too, and let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's stories in the comment section. Like you needed that encouragement for AEW versus WWE. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Myself and the Dudley Boys sitting down to review NXT 2.0 later on today. Plus, let us know your thoughts and Twitter questions on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Whilst you're there, follow both of us. You can follow Andy Murray at...
Follow me at Andy H. Murray. The H today stands for Humpty Numpty, sitting on a collapsing wall like some clueless egg.
You can follow me on Twitter at Adam Wilmore. Follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. For now, thanks Andy Murray. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.
Shot at Love Actually.